Hey, what is up folks, this is Shaheel. So, 5G. Everywhere we see those 5G. New smartphones coming out, telecoms advertising how the future is going to be super fast and ultra low latent. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5G and answer some of the most asked questions about 5G networking. First of all, what is 5G? 5G is simply the fifth generation of mobile networks. So the first generation of mobile networks were back in the 1980s when we got the ability to make phone calls over analog. And then in the 1990s, we got 2G, which brought the digital voice and SMS capabilities to our hands. And then in the 2000s, we got 3G, which brought along the mobile data and all the wireless internet things possible. And then in the 2010s, we have 4G networks, which is a more efficient, faster, and a better networking of 3G. And now we are going towards 5G, which is the fifth generation of networking. Now the 5G networks are more focused on bringing ultra low latency, multi-gigabit speeds, and more efficiency. So does my phone showing 5G in the status bar mean that I can get multi-gigabit speeds? Well, it's not a straight yes or no question. Well, the simple answer is not all 5G networks can be the same. There are different ways as to how 5G works and operates. That brings me to my next question: how does 5G work? You see, all the networks work by emitting radio frequencies over the air. And then your phone can pick up those radio frequencies and then communicate with the cell tower. That's just a basic way of how a cellular network works. And the thing with these kinds of radio frequencies are that the lower the frequency, the more they can travel distances and ignore obstacles in their path. 5G radio frequencies are said to be above 24 and below 39 GHz, and in which different carriers use different frequency bands. We'll talk more about frequency bands later in the video, and those networks which are above 24 GHz are the ones which provide those mind-boggling multi-gigabit network speeds. But there's a catch, as always. These frequencies are usually referred to as millimeter wave, ultra-wideband, or high-band 5G. These radio waves are so small that it can't travel a lot of distance. It can easily get blocked by buildings, people, trees, or even rain. But again, that's what makes them so powerful enough to get those multi-gigabit numbers on the speed test. The thing is, it works really well when it does, or it doesn't work at all. But that's where sub-6 GHz 5G or low-band and mid-band 5G comes into play. These are frequencies under 6 GHz like their name, but a smaller frequency like this can make them possible to travel a lot of distance, but that comes at a cost of speed. Now don't get me wrong, these are still super fast at around 100 to 400 megabits per second, but these are speeds that a really good 4G network can get you, but you are not really likely to experience that kind of speed in 4G. But by slow, I mean that it's still slower compared to the ultra-wideband or millimeter wave 5G speeds and the low latency that they can get you. So there you go. That's how 5G works in a nutshell. Now, what about 5G smartphones? Because once you get a full idea about 5G, the next sensible question would be about the smartphones that support 5G. Now let's come back to the 5G frequency bands that I talked about earlier in the video. Every smartphone would have what is called frequency bands. So these are names for frequencies at which carriers operate. In 5G enabled smartphones, we would use 5G frequency bands or 5G bands for short. I'll leave a link in the description to a Wikipedia article which shows you a full list of 5G bands that are available. Now if your phone supports millimeter wave bands and your carrier provides millimeter wave 5G, then you can get those speeds which you see in videos. Now again, something to note is that most countries outside of the United States don't really support millimeter 5G yet. Now what I was saying is that the more 5G bands a phone has, the more chances it has to pick a good 5G band, and it could also work across carriers. Now sometimes smartphones are advertised as 5G while they only support 1 or 2 5G bands. That's stupid. OnePlus. And now, should you buy a 5G phone? Right now, I'd say that hold on before you buy a 5G phone, because 5G is a technology that would take a lot of time to develop, as in at least 2 to 3 years in the future for it to become a global standard, just like 4G is right now. On top of that, most people really upgrade their smartphones every 2 to 3 years, so if you're buying a new smartphone 3 years from now on, there's not really a point in buying a 5G phone right now. But then again, if you're someone who buys flagship phones, it would already come with 5G as a unique selling point, so there's no point anyway. Now, if you're living in India and you want to purchase a non-flagship smartphone, I'd say make 5G the least of your priorities, because in the US, for 5G to become nationwide and for it to become a global standard, it would take at least 2 to 3 years, and we don't even get proper 4G speed, so there's that. And that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because I just found out that 63% of the viewers are not subscribed, so it would really make my day if you did that. And also share this video to someone who might find this helpful. Thanks for watching, and until we meet the next time, goodbye.